I'm going to begin, guys, by asking about the kind of challenge to maintain the essence and kind of spirit of the Cars franchise while still creating something new for audiences to indulge in with this film.
Not hard at all. No, just kidding.
Well, we love the characters, so it's not hard to maintain their spirit when we feel like they're a part of our family. But we do want to tell a new story and take these characters into new places so that they can react differently. Because it would be boring to watch McQueen just be the McQueen we know. We've got to challenge him dramatically, to kind of see what will happen.
I mean, because it's really interesting themes. I mean, particularly I felt that it resonates with sport in the way that big money expenses are kind of stripping away the kind of traditionalism in some games. I mean, there's a lot here for adults to take in, isn't there? And that's all. I guess that's always the way with Pixar.
Well, we also, our jumping off point was sort of where would an athlete like McQueen be 11 years into his career? And we were inspired by a NASCAR racer named Jeff Gordon, who was at a point in his career where he was starting to retire, and he told us that his biggest worry was that he would never be as good at anything else as good as he was as a race car driver. And you go, wow, and he's like in his late 30s. I mean, that's not very old, but it is what happens with the aging of an athlete.
Because do you guys remember when you got to the age where you just thought, damn, I'm not the youngest guy in the room anymore? I was at a party.
I have it every day. What are you talking about?
I looked around and I was just like, God, I'm one of the oldest people here.
Yeah, Pixar's filled with millennials, trust me.
Yeah. But I mean, is there any ever kind of like, not a divided Pixar, but do you get the kind of young guys over there and then you got the people that have been at Pixar a bit more experience over there? Or is there a lot of kind of blending?
It's a blending. Mixing? I mean, we have a lot of people who've been there a while and we also, I think we've tried to bring people along in terms of when Brian was head of story, of bringing new story artists along and guiding them, mentoring them. And I've hired a number of people through development and through my shows that I've been able to see have careers at Pixar, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, mainly I'm at the age where mainly we just sit around and talk about needing reading glasses. Yeah. You're like, you too? Yeah, me. Happened last year, overnight.
Because I mean, of course,
bifocal contact lenses. It's perfect.
Because I mean, in the movie, Doc Hudson it represents a kind of inspiration and guidance for Lightning. I mean, did you guys have someone like that, a kind of guiding light in the film industry when you first sort of started? Do you remember someone that sort of took you under their wing?
I had I worked on Nightmare Before Christmas as an accountant, and Kathleen Gavin was the producer, and I got to see firsthand how she rolled as a producer, how she treated her crew, how she supported a director, and I tried to incorporate a lot of that memory into how we rolled.
Yeah, and for me, it was John Lasseter and Joe Ranft, who was the head of story on the first Cars film. And Joe was, I had no idea how to draw a storyboard panel in my life. I'd never done that before, and I'm coming to Pixar. And Joe just really gave me a lot of opportunities when he really didn't need to. Both of those guys, I couldn't thank enough.
Because I mean, Brian, this is your first time in the director's chair. I mean, what's this experience like for you? And is this something you'd like to do more of again in the future?
Oh, I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. It's it's a bit of a feat at first, just because I had to grow some sea legs that I didn't have very quickly. But I would just pulled advice from all the other directors as much as I could.
Are you guys into cars? I've got sort of friends, and if a really fancy car goes past, they'll stop and gawp, and they just go, "Oh, look at that!" And as much as I enjoy the movies, I've never been into like cars as a thing. How about you guys? Did you grow up with a kind of interested in the toy cars? And
my dad was. I was the car kid. My brother was the sports kid. So cars have been, and I have a German-built Ford Focus RS that I'm having a good time with.
I mean, I don't know what that is, but it sounds cool.
It's really cool. Yeah. It's stealth gray. It's really cool.
I kind of learned through working on the movies. I've developed an appreciation, because I think I was probably more like you when many years ago. Yeah. But now I look at cars going by me on the road, and I was like, oh, that's what they're doing now? Well, those years were looking too good. And I find myself saying things that I would never have said, 7 years ago.
He just also has a Tesla 3 on order. Which he doesn't tell you.
If they ever start making
the first one rolled off today, this week.
And is this, I remember when I saw Toy Story 3, I thought they're never going to do a fourth one. It seems to have finished, but then they did, which I'm ridiculously excited about. Cars 3, again, it feels like it's kind of come full circle, but with Pixar, you never know. Could there be a fourth movie?
We don't have one in mind, and my joke is always that if a director comes up with an idea for a Cars 4, we'd be on it. Just like if somebody said, let's take Remy somewhere in Paris, we would do a Ratatouille 2. But as long as it takes a director, we're a director-driven studio, so it does take a director to drive the idea and get it past John Lasseter and the brain trust.
And Kevin, 'cause, I mean, you've been a casting director for several movies. I mean, I was wondering, just in regards to animations, how much the character and then the voice actor blend in. So when someone gets hired for a role, does that ever change the way a character is drawn, or the sensibilities of that role to kind of to complement the actor who's taking it on?
You know, we do a number of different ways. You're absolutely right. There is a blend. A good example, we film all of the actors for the animators, and I think the best example is if you look at Helen Parr in The Incredibles. She talks out of the side of her mouth, and if you watch Holly Hunter's performances in live action movies, she talks out of the side of her mouth. And so the animators incorporated that into the animation, and we do the same thing. And I think our Natalie Certain character, even our Leah Delaria as Miss Fritter is a good example. They really specialized the mouth so that it would be exaggerated like Leah's performance.
Which is, I guess, is slightly different with Cars because it's kind of there's not much human resemblance.
No, right, but she has glasses like Leah wears the horn rim glasses.
Oh, that's cool, brilliant. Well, thanks so much for your time today, guys. Much
Sure,
appreciated.
Stefan. Thank you very much for coming.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey